These are the top 3 mistakes that new owners make after buying a business. Number one, they dramatically increase expenses. And I say buying a business isn't that different than buying a house. Anyone that's ever bought a house before knows you come in with all kinds of things you want to change. You want a new kitchen, a new bathroom, new flooring. And then over time, you learn that you can kind of live with what's already there. The same thing happens when you come in and buy a new business. You want a new CRM, you want to install EOS, you want to do all kinds of new things, you want to hire new employees, all things that over time you eventually are going to learn the business doesn't really need. And it can be difficult coming in as acquire a business that's doing $3-5 million per year of revenue, and suddenly you have $3-5 million that you get to spend each year running the business, and you're not used to running that large of a P&L. So one thing we do to combat this problem with our partners is through our fractional CFO service that we do with all our companies. We're tracking every expense line as a percentage of revenue and setting a budget for what we can spend. And that budget's based off of what the prior owner spent, because if they can do it, you can do it. Number two, they forget to do sales. The owner of the business is the chief sales officer of the business. So when you acquire a business, you not only need to go meet the old, previous, existing customers, you need to still go out there and get new customers. And that's where you can see what they call the J curve, where things tend to dip over time, because your focus is going to be on keeping the existing client base when you also need some focus on bringing in new customers, because every business always has some level of churn. This is something that people that talk about buying businesses really don't focus on enough, probably us too. Business ownership is a sales job, period. If you don't want to sell, you shouldn't buy a business. And I even had someone say to me recently that was having a hard time with their business, said, "Hey, Mark, I have all these other things I have to do. I don't have time to do sales." And I said, no, no, no. You don't have time to do those other things because you have to do sales. Revenue can fix most business problems. Just focus on making sure that money's coming in. And if you look at big companies, Warren Buffett, Jamie Dimon, Jeff Bezos, all the big names, they're still acting as salespeople for their organization. Why shouldn't you? Number three is lack of focus. One of the hardest parts of entrepreneurship is staying focused. Everyone wants a holdco with 10 different companies, when really most successful people got there with just one. It's also tempting to take your newly acquired business in lots of different directions, when really you're probably going to be in the best situation if you just stay focused on your core business. Always focus on doing more of what's working rather than starting a new project. And I'd say an honorable mention is just compliance. It's really hard to stay compliant with all the federal, state, local laws and guidelines that you have to, your unemployment insurance, your sales tax, keeping up with your books and records. That can be very difficult, but it's something that's important. It's a thing that lots of new business owners struggle with because they have to learn all the things they need to do, but it's something that you're going to be okay. In most instances, these agencies are fairly forgiving to new owners and first-time offenders. So prioritize sales and driving revenue over everything else, but do your best to maintain your compliance. And really the best way to maintain your compliance is to outsource it. Jeff Bezos has a saying he would say all the time. He'd say about breweries needed to focus on things that made their beer taste better and outsource everything else. Compliance is not something that pleases your customers, so it's something that's best to be outsourced to others. And that's why within our team at Owner Actions, we do a lot of those activities for our companies, and we can also do it for you. So if you need help with that, check out the link in our bio. Or if you want to buy a business together, you can also go check out that link in our bio.